All right,
Yeah.
now let's bring the conversation to Nigeria ahead of the 2023 general elections in Nigeria and calls for a peaceful, transparent, and credible exercise. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has hinted on plans to deploy undercover agents to polling units for the elections in a bid to cut down on the menace of vote buying. The INEC Chairman on Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, made the disclosure in Abuja, adding that the Commission has made sure that people do not enter the voting compartments with their mobile phones that can take pictures on election day.
Well, so many reactions have trailed the announcement as Nigerians are wondering how much impact this will have on election day. News Central's chief researcher, Abdulateef Ahmed, joins us now. Good morning, Abdulateef. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Osaf.
All right, INEC has, of course, reiterated its commitment over and over to deliver free, fair, and credible elections for all Nigerians. Do you think we can see that happening in 2023? And of course, going by, of course, previous elections in the country, including the state elections.
Going by what we've had so far, it is encouraging and impressive that the use of technology has boosted electoral process and improved electoral outcomes in the past few months. We had recent elections in Ekiti and Osun State. However, there are other approaches to ensure that elections are run smoothly. For instance, those who were apprehended trying to subvert the process in the past few elections should have been prosecuted and be seen to face the law. When you do that, you boost confidence in the minds and hearts of the electorates. They know, for instance, that their votes will count because those who try to subvert the process will be reprimanded.
All right, there have been announcements by Festus Okoye that INEC will be deploying undercover agents who've been dressed in mufti to sort of curtail the menace of vote buying. What impact do you think this will have on the elections come 2023?
It's fine. Most times when you have a system in place to ensure the process is smooth, there are saboteurs and people who would rather have the process subverted. So collaborating with security agents and be it the uniformed and the plainclothes security agents is in order because you must be ahead of politicians who are always desperate to take control of the apparatus and be declared the winners. So when you do that, what you essentially do is to ensure that you are able to checkmate criminals or miscreants before they commit such electoral crimes.
Well, for the record, sometime earlier this year, Serap had sued INEC for its failure to prosecute vote buyers and vote sellers. And so, it may not be very inspirational now hearing, that INEC is, trying to put undercover agents because they've had an opportunity to ensure that vote buying, was stopped in the Ekiti elections, for example, and it doesn't seem like they did very well there. So I'm not sure how, motivational this one would be for 2023's elections. Let's also talk about some other aspects of it. We're able to receive, of course, polling unit results currently from INEC portal in real time. Are you confident that, technology will encourage more people to vote and be a part of the elections?
I believe technology will make people vote more. A lot of times people will rather stay back because they are unsure if their vote will count. Going by the recent elections, you've seen the deployment of beavers, you've seen, again, the deployment of security agents, and the fact that election results are being transmitted in real time. A lot of people are encouraged to come out and vote. If going by the government's pronouncement about boosting security in certain areas across the country comes to effect, what it means is that more people will be willing to see their votes count. Essentially, that is that is what to expect.
Let's take a look at, the just concluded elections in Kenya. There was a lot of distrust between the people and the IEBC at some point. Do you think that we will see something like that in Nigeria? Do you think that the Nigerian people have enough confidence in INEC to be able to pull off these elections? It's one thing for INEC to say that they will pull it off or to be capable of pulling it off. But do Nigerians trust the Independent National Electoral Commission enough to be able to pull this off?
what is very evident is that elections will be in the manner in which the politicians themselves, the song they sing will determine the dance we'll have, on the election day. What this means is the stakes, the belief and the trust in the system will depend on pronouncements by, the contending political parties. So when elections hold, if before the elections you trust in the system, it is not when the election results come out that you begin to distrust in the system, unless you're able to prove that there's substantial, subversion of the popular will of the people. So Nigerians trust the system. Nigerians hope the system will run through. However, depending on how how INEC carries on its duties and how politicians respond to outcomes of the election, that is what will determine how much Nigerians receive or accept the outcomes of the elections.
Well, I want you to also respond to a question that I brought up earlier. The failure to prosecute vote buyers in the Ekiti elections, I think in June, I believe, Serap did sue. And also, are statements like these, I mean, if you follow through with previous Nigerian elections, are statements like this from INEC enough to deter people willing to sell or buy votes?
So most times, INEC will make pronouncements. It is up to the politicians to do the needful. It is also up to the electorate to follow through. Because you see, when you have a system of governance where poverty has been weaponized, a lot of people will do whatever it takes to get money. All they need is money to go, for a day or two. What will discourage vote buying, for example, is when those who are involved in any form of malpractice are apprehended and prosecuted. I didn't see that happen, and it is in order that Serap has sued INEC. It should be followed through until INEC is able to establish that it couldn't prosecute those who were involved in electoral malpractices, because unless there is punishment for bad behavior becomes a national culture.
Well, Abdul Lateef, Nigeria continues to develop its electoral process, its leadership recruitment process, and we will continue to have these conversations until Nigerians are 100% confident or somehow confident in the electoral process. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.